All right, welcome back. As we talked a lot about lately, former President Trump's facing some charges. It could get tricky for him as he heads into the 2024 election. We're to talk about all that, but first, there are concerns about the names of the Georgia grand jurors. Their names and addresses were posted online. Chief Legal Correspondent Katie Barlow here to talk about it all. There's a lot. We've talked a lot about the transparency here because we may see cameras in the courtroom. We know these grand jurors, and a lot of people are learning these names now.
Yeah. Look, I think it's fair to say that the temperature has been dialed up pretty high right now. He's got 4 indictments that he's facing. And in Georgia, with that transparency comes a lot more heat. I mean, we were watching people in the courtroom on Monday night in a way that we haven't really seen as an American society. But now, because of Georgia's rules, those names are public. They're part of the indictment. And now some Trump supporters have decided to post their names online along with their addresses. And at the same time, there was also a woman arrested in Texas this week for threatening a judge right here in our backyard, Judge Tanya Chutkan, who's overseeing the federal January 6th case against President Trump. So things are very heated at the moment. There's a lot of intensity about security, both for the everyday citizens who participate in this process and the judges and staff who participate in the court, too.
Yeah, because in the jury process, whether it's for a civil case or something like this, this is something you don't volunteer and say, hey, I want to be on the jury. This is part of the process.
Look, serving on a jury, whether it's a grand jury or when you're at trial, it is the one time that our country asks you to serve. It's the one civic duty that we ask of our citizens. We don't require them to serve in the military anymore. We just say, hey, occasionally, can you come down to the courthouse and help us decide this particular issue? And those people take that job seriously. They do that job well all across the country, not just in D.C. and these places where we're seeing the indictment. And they deserve the benefit of the doubt and security and safety and privacy.
So as we see all of this playing out, because we have Georgia, we have 2 federal cases, we have New York, there's a lot being made about the timing, because as we go into an election year, I mean, we're starting debates next week.
Yeah. Right. We're heading straight. We're barreling into November of next year, right? We're almost there. So if you actually line up side by side the political schedule and the legal schedule for Trump next year, it's looking pretty tight. I mean, to be a campaign for president, on the campaign trail for president, you've got a busy schedule already. And you want to tack in what has already been requested as 4 trials before we even get to September of next year. That's going to get really busy. Jack Smith has already, he wants to kick the year off January 2nd with the trial here in Washington, D.C., and then 2 trials in March, including Georgia and New York. If both of those happen, that's the same month as Super Tuesday, as the election, the primary election in Georgia and in Florida.
There are a lot of people who, including the former president, who say, based on that, based on the dates, this is a matter of election interference here. So, but there's also a right in this country to a speedy trial. So would these dates qualify as speedy trials here?
Well, here's the thing, a little nerdy point about the right to a speedy trial. That actually belongs to the defendant. That's part of our protection that we baked into the Constitution for anyone who gets criminally charged. So that right to a speedy trial really belongs to the president in this case, the former president in this case, and he doesn't want to move that quickly, so we see him. Now, Jack Smith has indicated he's ready to move quickly, so is Fani Willis, so is the New York court. So we'll see if they actually move that quickly, but the right to the speedy trial belongs to Trump, and he seems to not want to do that.
So Mark Meadows wants to kick this Georgia case to federal court. I know he filed that motion. Is that because I know we heard that they want to try them all together? Is this just for Mark Meadows, or if they make a motion on Mark Meadows, would that affect all the other 18 defendants?
It's just going to affect Mark Meadows, but don't be surprised if you see a very similar request coming from Trump soon. It'll benefit him to have a little bit of a broader jury pool. As we talked about on Monday with an expert out of Georgia who's a former prosecutor there, the Fulton County potential jurors might be a little more biased. They didn't vote Trump's way in the election. It might be reasonable for Trump to think that he's not got a good shot there with the potential jurors. If he moves it to federal, that's a little bit of a broader jury pool. I would expect that his team wants to do that. You kind of think of it like a football field. And in federal court, Trump's team and his lawyers, they know the rules of the game better. They know the field better. They're ready to defend better. And I think that's where they'll want to be.
Does that drag out the timing then?
Potentially.
Okay.
Drag out the timing seems to be the name of his game right now.
Well, but it's also very powerful because he said before, like, look, before this last indictment came down, hey, another indictment, I'll sew up this nomination. And you look at the polling, and the polling is swayed in his favor.
Backing him up on that.
And the fundraising, too, which all helps. So,
yeah,
all right.
We'll see what happens.
Katie Barlow, good to see you.